After the mess that was yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't gelled my hair today. That's how productive it's been today. We haven't had a chance to even think about gelling my hair. I don't normally gel it on days where I go for a walk in the morning and put my headphones on, because I don't like putting my headphones on freshly gelled hair, because I think it makes the rubber a bit like sticky, you know. Or on days where it's pissing it down. And it's raining today. I had to cut my walk short by about 10 minutes because it was raining too much. So I'm gonna have to go for a longer walk later if it's drier, hopefully. So far today we have been flying through stuff. I've just released a new blog post to the website. It's about running acceptance tests in isolation. So it's bridging the gap between integration tests and unit tests, introducing a new layer in the middle there called acceptance tests, which I spoke about in my blog post about testing triangles. I've now done the first one where I actually put code on the site. So I had to do new code releases to make sure that the site does proper syntax highlighting. It's beautiful. It wasn't beautiful. For some reason, I've created the PRs to do all of this a long time ago and never merged them because I didn't need it at the time. And at some point I decided to use a font that was goddamn hideous. So when I spun it all up to have a look what it all looked like, I saw the font, I'm like, what the fuck is that? We're taking that shit out. So yeah, so I proofread and made some changes to the blog post, checked out all the stylings, made a couple of tweaks to make it look a little bit better, and then we have done the release. I had to remind myself how to do the release because it's been a long time since I've updated the CDN. I've updated the website itself a couple of times, but not the CDN. And the problem is that I don't have... So I have a test environment for my website, but I only have live versions of my database and CDN, where I store the blog and where I store the styles and stuff. So I had to put it live effectively and then look at it on the test environment. Well, obviously I can run it all locally fine, but yeah, just to make sure that the deployment was working, because I have a step in between where you have to deploy to the smoke environment, check everything out, make sure it all works, and then you can approve it to go into the next environment. It's all good. But yeah, so I will link the blog post down below. Check it out, let me know what you think. It's the first time I've written a blog post with code in it, so I've tried to make it have... It's difficult striking the balance about what's too much information and what's not enough information, you know what I'm saying? So I hope I've hit that as best I can. Otherwise, we've just made a cup of tea. My 5-minute break today is a 5-minute break to talk to you because we are hitting it hard. Yesterday was an absolute fucking shambles. I got 2 hours logged of time to work, and I don't even think that 2 hours is legitimate. And every other day previously, like even at the weekend, I get more than 2 hours done. Every other day previously, I've been doing like 8.5 plus hours. So today we are hitting it hard. We've got today's to-do list to clear, which involves doing this blog post, and then all of yesterday's to-do list to clear. So I've got lots of work to do. So I've got to get on with it, guys. It's kind of good it's raining because it's nice and cool in here. Gets me in the zone. Get some work done. So yeah, blog post. Check it out. I'm struggling, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to write the risks for the project, and try and kind of talk about what the risks are without making them sound too bad, you know? But also kind of try and effectively have some risks. Like, I think it's entirely possible. Like, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think there are that many risks. Well, no, so interestingly, I don't think the risk that they will see, that they will consider to be a risk, I don't think that's a problem. But I know they think it's there, so I'm trying to like, you know what I'm saying? Today started off proper grey, like legitimately grey AF, and now it's sunny as balls. It's really hot in my office. I've had lunch and I'm looking, I feel like I've finished. I feel like I'm done. So I'm at the point where I need to polish things. I've released my blog post now. But I need to polish everything up a little bit more. But I don't know, I feel like I need to take a step away from it for a little bit before I do that, but I don't know what else to do. It's going to be weird. Once I've done this, I'm not going to know what to do with myself. I'm going to have to find something else to do. But I need to figure out a plan of attack for this next little bit. And I'm just like pondering as to what other things I might need to do. here. Is there anything I'm missing? That's what I'm trying to figure out. ATM. I kind of wasn't expecting to finish this early. That's what's throwing me. So what I'm thinking I'm going to spend the afternoon doing something different, and then when I come back from my walk, I'm then going to go through the whole thing, the whole shaboodle, edit it all, get it all nice and polished, make sure I'm saying what I want to say, where I want to say it, and how I want to say it, and make sure I'm not missing anything. Or I'm contradicting myself. Then polish it, make it all nice and English, make it all nice and grammatically correct. Yeah. So, what I want to do now then is pick up the next story on my list of things to do, which is tell the microservices when this image has been successfully deployed to Azure Container Registry, which should just be a case of raising an event, putting it on the message bus, getting that message bus consumed by something, and then let my microservice pick up that message. Should be relatively simple. Yeah, I'm also looking into, at a brief moment in time yesterday, looking into how to automatically deploy out these and run these containers. I'm looking at using Logic Apps to do it. But the problem with Logic Apps is you have to go through container groups rather than container instances, which means I have to worry a little bit more about what kind of group I want to create, like how big a machine I want to run these things on. Whereas instances aren't quite like that. It's a bit more sassy. Sorry, it's a bit more passy rather than assy. IASSY. What? It's really freaking warm in here though. Well, the sun is literally just purely on me. Look at me, look, this is me in the sitting in this little burny bit of hot bits. So I might put my blind down again. You know, if you're interested in preserving the life of a GoPro battery, don't forget to turn it off. Basically, it's got a feature, quote unquote feature, where it turns itself off after a certain amount of seconds if it's not being used. But if it does that, no matter what the battery level, it doesn't do it before it's dead. It just it basically just kills itself. It's just like, oh no, I'm out. I'm not playing this game anymore. And then just like dies. The amount of times I've changed the camera battery when I was like, I'm 99% sure that the camera battery was like comfortably in the 70% range. And then I accidentally left it on for 10 minutes and then it's just dead. You're like, how? Laura is back early today. She's on her way back already. It's nearly 6 o'clock and she's about 5 minutes away. So I am cooking, well, prepping dinner. We're having fajitas. Fajitas! Which is a cook when she gets here kind of job. But I'm going to get ahead of the game and chop stuff up. She's prepping to go back to university now. So she is got to do work in the evenings and stuff. Which means that even though I've already done 7.5 hours of timed work today, we're going to get some more done after dinner. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to Laura getting back into work so I don't feel bad for doing work in the evenings. The only problem with that being that this is going to consume me more and more and more from this point on. That's not a bad thing. Well, it started, ladies and gentlemen. No, I went sleepwalking last night, which isn't something I've done for a very long time, to be honest with you. I was probably, well, Graham, we still had Graham, when Graham was alive. I was probably still at uni last time I sleepwalked. It only really happens when I'm stressed. I've got a lot of things to think about. But I woke up thinking that there was like a body in the corner of the room, which obviously woke Laura up because I was freaking out trying to figure out what it was, and then she told me to go turn the lights on. I turned the lights on, realised there wasn't a body there, and then went back to sleep. But yeah, like I say, I haven't done that in a while. There's been a couple of times where I've woke up thinking there was like a praying mantis in the bed. Woke up thinking there was a praying, and then I've managed to convince Laura there's a praying mantis in the bed to the point where she can now see it moving around, and I'm now awake like, what the fuck is happening? Because I don't remember mentioning a praying mantis, and Laura's like, there's something in the bed, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course there's not. So yeah, if we're getting back to that, then we'll have problems. But I was working quite late last night. Laura was working in the evening as well, although I only got only just above what I got on Monday. Some days feel like the exact same as other days, but I seem to like eke out another hour of work. And I don't know how I do it, because Monday we go shopping, and yet I hit what I hit yesterday, which was 9 hours of work, timed work, yesterday and on Monday. And I was like, oh, I'll steam past Monday. But having said that, yesterday I was working for an hour and a half at home after dinner, whereas I probably was working for about an hour and a half before dinner because Laura went to the gym and was late home. So maybe that's why, but it's just weird. It's not as clean cut as I thought it would be. I've been making progress on my drafts for my application thing. Oh, very sunny, isn't it? Yeah, I've been making drafts for my application thing. I'm about a third of the way through, making a lot of progress. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. As in, like, I thought my first drafts were very much like just type whatever you can think just to start, because if you fettle it too much you don't get anywhere. And once you've got something, it's easier to edit it than not. But I've made like a couple of improvements, rewritten a couple of paragraphs to make it sound better or flow better, knowing what I've put later on. So yeah, I'm going to aim to get probably the other 2/3 done today. I've got a little bit of programming I can do on the side to like jump in and out of it when I'm losing the will to live, so to speak. But I am working to a deadline, so this camera is pretty good at dealing with like situations like this. I'm quite impressed. It's got to be said, it's not perfect, and mainly because it's a bit buggy, to be honest. But I've thoroughly enjoyed vlogging with a GoPro. It's ever so small, it's ever so nice compared to my old camera, which was a bit bigger. And especially compared to if I'd have bought a different kind of my old camera for this camera, you know? Does that make sense? No. But yeah, the deadline for this thing is Sunday or Monday. So obviously I don't have much time to fuck about anymore. But yeah, so hopefully we can tidy this up. And hopefully this isn't just a shot in the dark. But yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that it's going to work out, but I'm hoping to be able to get some feedback from it, if you know what I mean. I feel like I'm on the edge. I've said before, like, I feel like I'm on the outskirts of what they want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already pushing the boundary of what they want. And I know that there's a couple of things that they're particularly looking for that I don't have, that I'm trying to dress up. But I'm just not in a position to give them that yet. But I hopefully will be, but not now, if that makes sense. By the time it starts, I will be, but by the time I'm applying, I can't vouch for it. That's difficult to dress up. But yeah, hopefully I get some kind of feedback from it in general. So, we'll see. Otherwise, I'm writing a dumb as your function thing to consume events that are raised by my container registry, and then pump them into my microservices. So that it can put them into mass transit, basically wrap them in a mass transit envelope. That's literally all it's going to do. And then just flump them into the microservices, and then the microservices can deal with it from there. Once I've done that, I think it's about time to spin up a new microservice, which is going to be exciting. Like I say, the next big thing for me to solve is how to run these containers, because it involves programmatically deploying code to Azure. Which I would like to do as little of that as possible, if you know what I mean. So far, life's on the up and up. This weekend we've got all weekend to work, so that should be productive. And then all we need to do is focus on reaching out to clients to see if we can collaborate over Red Spider. So we'll see how that goes. That should be good as well. It's a fun time. It's a fun time to be alive. I'm basically a month in now. Feels like longer. Not sure if that's a good sign or not. It doesn't feel like it's only a month. So, going well, yeah. If I was to ever wind these vlogs down to less than daily, I can't see me stopping them entirely. I think I'd slowly slow them down before I stop them entirely. But I've been toying with the idea of using something like basically replacing the day-to-day daily vlogs with something like Instagram stories, you know, and then because then there's like more regular feedback and all that kind of stuff, and then only doing vlogs when like big things are happening, you know, when it's like a big day. toying with the idea because I'm conscious of the fact that I like these vlogs for me, but I wouldn't watch them. You know, I don't watch them back anymore. They're too long, and they're all the same. But I like it because I've got something to talk to, and I like the idea of documenting this journey. So it's a thing I've been toying with. So I moved over to doing a little bit of programming in the second half of the morning, and I'm like not firing. Azure functions are like, they're nice to write. They're like really nice and simple to get up and running. But there's just like some odd quirks with them that makes them a bit of just a pain in the arse. Whereas like if you write a test class, you have to rebuild the function class before it knows about any changes you've made, which is annoying. But like that kind of thing where it's just like little things that are just off about it. And I've just been trying to configure out, so I'm using, previously when I've ever written C# functions, I've used third-party dependency injection frameworks. Microsoft has now released their own, put my own in, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like trying to write this thing where the events that I'm consuming, they're a bit bizarre, where they could effectively inject multiple events at once. And in theory, I'm filtering that out to make sure it only gives me certain events. But if it sends me multiple events all at once, I don't want to process, and you send one of them that I'm not expecting, I don't want to accidentally process one of the ones that I do. Like, it seems odd that you collate the events and pass them all in. So I'm trying to write a function that will kind of filter out events that it's not expecting, and then not process anything if it spots anything, like a handbrake, effectively. And I'm like not firing on all cylinders because for the past half hour I've been trying to figure out how to write some code that basically goes, hey, if this list of things contains anything that aren't one of these two types that I care about, break. And I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, this isn't difficult. Why am I finding this so hard? So yeah, it's lunchtime. God damn it, man. I'm there and I'm like, this isn't difficult. Why are you struggling with this? Step away. Let's go have some lunch. That goddamn sun is on its way around again, isn't it? I have now finished proofreading all of the everything except the last bit, which is the project plan, which is the thing I wrote most recently. I'm going to pause that before I jump into it though. I'm going to do some other development stuff in the meantime. It's pretty, I think it's going good. I think I'm feeling more confident. I think this is quite a strong approach that I'm taking. I've just done some readjustments to the budget plan to be a bit more aggressive in scenarios where I don't necessarily need the money, if that makes sense. If I'm making a revenue from Code Reviews as a service, I'm less reliant on the money. But so instead, what I should be doing is growing quicker in that scenario. But I wasn't, so I just adjusted it so that I am growing quicker. And I'm happy with that. Right, so I think let's get back onto some programming. I'm going to start focusing on, I've got to start focusing on generating clients again, or connections and stuff. But that can come apropos. That was one of them scenarios where I thought of a word mid-sentence. I was like, you know what, I'm going to use that. I don't know what it means. It happened yesterday with indicative and inducive. I was like, I want to use one of these two words. I don't know which. Not really sure what inducive means, but I'm sure I can make it fit somewhere. I ended up not going with either. After discussing it with Laura, and was like, maybe the fact that we've taken this long to figure out which one is the best scenario to use, best one to use in this scenario, it's probably a sign that the word's too complicated for whatever it is you're using it for. And I was like, okay. I've been known to write entire blog posts just because I wanted to use a word, you know? And I was the kind of guy who I'd take bets on. I took a bet with my English teacher once that I couldn't get photosynthesis into a essay about Shakespeare. And I got it in, boys, and it fucking worked, all right? It wasn't even like it was shoehorned. It was like, bam, I used it as a metaphor.
Don't judge me, alright, but I changed into yesterday's t-shirt so that I didn't get today's t-shirt sweaty because it's really hot when I go on my walk. It's so hot in the afternoon. It's like summer's back again on the weekend that Laura starts uni again. LOL. In theory, I really like the idea of spending my days, because my days are like kind of in 3 chunks where you have the morning, afternoon, and then you kind of have like after my walk / in the evening. Could either be a chunk or 2 chunks, depending on what Laura's doing. I like splitting each one of those chunks into 2 because I normally have a cup of tea in the middle of each chunk. I feel like you get enough variance in what you're doing to not get bored or lose the will to live. The only time where that doesn't apply is when I'm near to the end of something compared to just starting something. So I find it really difficult to make any kind of like significant progress. If you look at the amount of work I got done in that hour and a half that I spent doing programming, it was abysmal, because I'm just focusing on the thing I'm nearly finishing, you know? Problem then being as well that I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit, because I'm on the last bit, which is the project plan, and I feel like that's my weakest part out of all of it. That guy was fascinated. He was driving on like that. I feel like that's by far the weakest part of my entire thing. But I feel like it's the hardest thing to make better, you know? Whereas the other stuff, it's like, it's spinnable. You can like throw some jazz hands in there, you know, but this is quite difficult to jazz up. And I'm struggling a tad too, because I'm going through the second write through. I've already written one. I feel like it's a bit short, so I'm trying to bolster it and make it a bit jazzy. But I'm struggling with that. And therefore, let's go that way. I've never been that way before. So I'm struggling with that, and I'm trying to find, it's like a combination of, I'm not very productive on that one because of that reason, but I'm not very productive on things I'm trying to do to take my mind off it, because I can't take my mind off it, because I know I'm so close to finishing. I think I'll probably submit it tomorrow, depending on, like I say, how far I get with this redraft thing. But it's one of them things where I know my mental state is kind of dawdle on it until last thing on the day where it's due, and then submit it. Because I know that's what I'm like. It's quite nice right there, isn't it? If they weren't all bungalows. We nearly went for a flat in one of these buildings. I think it was that one there. It was a top floor flat. No, it was that one. It was a top floor flat back before we had our previous flat. And it was one of the very few flats where it was like, we stood a chance of getting it, you know? We saw a lot of flats and weren't allowed many of them because we were in a weird financial position where we could blatantly afford it, but no one would believe we could. And we very nearly got that, because they were like, look, if you put an offer in, it's yours. And we almost did it, and it's so far out and it was so shit. I was so glad we didn't. We put offers in on plenty of flats that I'm really glad we didn't get. We were extortionately lucky with the one we did get though, so that's a good thing. Not only did I have time to finish, ladies and gentlemen, I also got a significant amount of my, I got more done in the half hour of programming I got while I was waiting for Laura to come free so we could watch Gogglebox, than I probably did all day. That's not true, to be fair. Most of that day was setting up the function in the first place, but made some progress, so that's good. I'm going to end the video here, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, yes, there's a little screen on my GoPro that tells me how long I've been recording for, and it's time to end. So yeah, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend ahead of us. It's not going to be much of a weekend, I'm not going to lie to you, but going to get a lot of work done, so